Alright, alright, alright. It's 8 p.m. Central, and time for the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, heard Wednesday nights on this repeater. My name is Sai, call sign Kilo India 5, Zulu India India, and I'll be your net control for this evening. This is a controlled net, meaning stations should refrain from transmitting until designated check-in or comment times. You can hear us on the University Link repeater system and the N5OAK repeater system. You can also check in through the Echo link on the node KA5D-R. There are other ways of checking in to the repeater system, and you can find more details at the website ka5d.com/repeaters and n5oak.org/repeaters. Please give a couple of seconds between transmissions to allow all system links to communicate with each other. Before we begin, is there any emergency or priority traffic on this frequency? If so, please call now. Nothing heard. We won't have any scheduled breaks to check for emergency traffic during the net this evening, but will gladly yield the air if any station calls in with emergency or priority traffic. Is the backup net controller, Kilo November 4, Lima Romeo Alpha, Matthew, on the air?
Good evening, Sai, and everyone listening out there. This is Matthew, KN4LRA. I'm here and can help out this backup net control. Let's rock and roll. Back to you.
Sure, thank you. The UT Amateur Radio Weekly Club Net is a social net with the purpose of bringing local radio operators together to share knowledge, discuss club activities, and keep in touch. All hams are invited, both new and experienced, and no club membership is required. If you're new to the net, the way this works is very simple. In just a bit, we'll invite everyone listening to check into the net. We will start with short time check-ins for stations who just have a few minutes with us, then move on to general check-ins and comment time. Before we get started with check-ins, we have some announcements from the club.
Hey, Sai, this is Matthew again.
KF5K.
Young, we doubled. You go ahead. KN4LRA.
Okay, thank you. I think we were probably about to say the same thing, but we do have a club meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. usual room. So that's all I was about to say. If you have anything to add, Matthew.
Negative, that was it. Sai, back to you.
Yeah, thank you for bringing up that there will be a club meeting tomorrow for those on campus. So for more information about our club, or if you'd like to get involved, please visit n5xu.org, where you can read more about the club and sign up for our email list. You're listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club, every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on the University Link repeater system and the N5OAK repeater system. My name is Sai, call sign Kilo India 5, Zulu India India, and I'm your net control for this evening. Let's move on to net check-ins. During check-in, please key your mic and say, "This is," unkey, and then wait a moment to hear if anyone else started speaking at the same time. If it's clear, key in again and slowly and clearly state your call sign and first name. We encourage you to use the standard ITU phonetics if you know them. This gives everyone an opportunity to learn the phonetics and makes it easier for me to write down check-ins. We will start off with short time check-ins. If you're out there and know that you've got just a few minutes but still want to say that you've checked into the net, this is your opportunity. To keep things brief, we won't take general comments from short time stations. Short time stations, please call now.
This is Kilo India 5, Tango India Alpha Young. Thanks for running the net, Sai. Sorry I couldn't stay longer, but I have a midterm tomorrow that I need to study for. But
I got Kilo India 5, Tango India Alpha Young. Thank you for joining us today. Good luck on your midterm, and if any other stations are checking in short time, please call now. Before we move on, let's do one last check for any stations who wish to check in short time. Any additional short time stations, please call now. Let's move on to general check-ins. After we've got a few people checked in, we will give the floor to each of you and then to any stations who wish to respond. If we don't get to you during the first round of check-ins, stick around. There will be plenty of opportunities to check in throughout the evening. Again, no club membership required. Any licensed operators are welcome. General check-in stations, please call now.
This is Kilo 5, Romeo Fox Tango, Mike.
This is Kilo India 5, Uniform Oscar Golf, Ethan.
I got Kilo 5, Romeo 5 Tango Mike, and Kilo India 5, Uniform Oscar Golf, Ethan. Any other general check-in stations, please call now. Alright, before we move on, let's check with our backup net control operator. Kilo November 4 Lima Romeo Alpha. Matthew, I've got 2 general check-ins. Do you have the same?
Hey, Cy, thanks for checking with me. I have the 2 general check-ins here, Mike, K5RFT, and Ethan, KI5UOG as well. Back to you, KN4LRA.
Thank you, Matthew. So first down the list, we have Kilo 5 Romeo Foxtrot Tango Mike. Welcome back to the net, Mike, and how's your week been going? Okay, we can come back to Mike at a later time. So next down the list, we have Kilo India 5 Uniform Oscar Golf Ethan. So welcome back to the net, and how's your week been going?
Hey, it's been going pretty good. Just getting back into the groove of things after spring break. Got to go to Corpus Christi over spring break and do some sailing, and then also did a powerlifting competition. So that was super fun. Set some new personal bests. And yeah, just the community was really supportive, so that was really a good thing to experience. But yeah, overall, this week has been going good. Trying to get ahead, that way I can go do some more sailing this weekend. Back to you.
Thank you, Ethan. I'm glad to hear that your spring break went well and you're able to enjoy all the other activities that you were discussing about. So if anyone else here has any comments, please feel free to share. Alright, next we have Kilo November 4 Lima Romeo Alpha. Matthew, welcome back to the net, and thank you for being backup net control. How's your week been going?
Hey, Cy, this is KN4LRA Matthew. Man, it's been a pretty good week so far. You know, the week really feels like it's been going pretty slow. I think ever since I got back from spring break, time's moving in slow motion. I've kind of got this little ticking timer now that I know that I'm graduating here in 6.5 weeks. And the days go slow, but they tell me the weeks are going to go fast. I can't quite comment on that second part yet, given that I'm still in the first week here. But man, it is a really interesting feeling being this close to graduation and starting to look at the assignment list and saying, man, there's actually a bottom of the assignment list instead of it just being endless, you know? It's definitely an interesting feeling, right? So far, this week has been pretty busy for me, so I haven't gotten to do too much fun stuff in terms of radio. Monday was kind of just getting back in the groove of things, catching up on some of those random chores, you know, you got to do when you're out of town for a week. Yesterday, working on a presentation for my senior design project. It feels like that's almost everything that I do all the time now. And then today, just doing more of the same, and trying to get things in order here towards to wrap up everything for the semester. So it's been a pretty busy week for me, and looking at what else I got to do, there's no slowing down anytime soon. But hey, that's better than just sitting around doing absolutely nothing. So I can't say that I've got any complaints there. Break. In terms of radio things, I did go up to the shack earlier and took a look at some of our equipment. There's been some chatter on the W5AC channel, Discord, about us helping out with one of their club outreach activities that's going to be happening this Friday evening. So we're going to try to find a way to be able to be here in Austin and make contact with the guys down in Aggie Land so that they could demo ham radio at one of the engineering functions. So still trying to figure out exactly what that's going to look like, whether we're able to get any of our gear back on the air. But one way or another, we're going to be giving them a hand and help introduce ham radio to a bunch of additional people down in Aggie Land. So super exciting there. And for any of our members who are out there and listening, feel free to check the Discord for more information about what's going on there. Break. I realize that I've been talking for a while, but I got one more thing that I wanted to share here before I pass it back to you. Been watching the weather a little bit, and it looks like we're going to have quite a bit of fun weather coming in again. I don't know what it is, but I realized like the last, maybe 3 or 4 Thursday nights, it's always been on Thursday nights we've had the crazy weather in. So it'll be an interesting Thursday night net tomorrow with the Oak Hill guys. I'll be listening in for sure, as long as I'm not up there climbing the tower to watch the lightning roll in. All jokes aside, though, that's pretty much it from me. I'll go ahead and send it back to you. Cy, thanks so much for running the net tonight, and look forward to hearing from some of those people that are out there lurking on the edge of the repeater. Hopefully I'll jump in and say hi. This is KN4LRA. Cy, back to you.
Thank you, Matthew, for sharing, and again, I really appreciate your help as backup net control. I definitely cannot relate to the feeling that you were describing about being a senior with just a few weeks before graduation, and senior design is definitely a course that I look forward to. I'll take those words back when I take it, but yeah, it's great to hear about the potential activities with so it's definitely going to be an exciting experience on Friday. Hopefully I can join that evening. I believe I've got a midterm, but if time allows, I'll definitely take a look at it. And about the information about what's been going on with the club equipment, I'm sorry I haven't spent as much time reading into what's been up with it, but at least with next week, I'll definitely be happy to help out in any sort of way I can. So I'll definitely. All right. Does anyone have any comments for Matthew, KN4LRA?
This is K5RFT. I have a short question for Matthew.
Sure. Please go ahead. I'm not sure if I caught your call sign. Could you please repeat that again?
It's Kilo 5 Romeo Fox Tango, or Radio Free Texas. But my question for Matthew is, I thought I heard someone mention that he was an officer in the UT Ham Club. Did I hear that correctly?
Hey, Mike, that's a negative to me being an officer in the club. I just get my name out there a fair bit, given that I do the net here on Wednesday nights so often. But no, I'm not an officer. The 2 officers, if you're trying to get in touch with them, those are going to be David, Kilo Golf 5, Uniform Bravo Bravo, and also Young, who checked in earlier. That's Kilo India 5, Tango India Alpha. All
right, well, I'd like to, sometime I'll find time to chat with those folks. I was I was in that club back probably 55 years ago, and actually I was president in 71, 72, and wanted to just compare notes on the club back then versus the club today.
Well, lots of changes for sure. If you are able to get on Discord, I don't know if you have a Discord account, but we have a Discord that we would love to have you join, and we can help you get set up with that if you'd like to get on there. Or also through our website, n5xu.org, you can get on our email list and find the contact info for those guys as well.
All right, I did sign up for Discord. I'm still trying to figure my way around that. Sometimes I can be a bit of a Luddite on all of these new computer things. But anyway, I will definitely poke around on there and see what I find. But yeah, I think it'd be kind of fun to trade stories. When I first got into the UT Club, the station was up on the floor, sort of attic of the southwest corner of the Texas Union.
Well, it's interesting. We've been having a lot of discussions with several alumni, given our current issues with our station being off the air right now due to some construction that's going on the ECJ building where we're currently located. And, man, I think that this adds to the third, maybe, location that the shack has been prior to its current location. So it's really cool for us to hear about the history of the club, where it's been all on campus, and very interesting to sort of hear how it's progressed as it's moved from location to location. Lots of interesting stories there. So we definitely love to hear from that sometime. This is KN4LRA for ID.
All right, well, we'll have to set something up and maybe find a burger to share and swap stories over. We were actually on the team that moved the station from the Texas Union building over to the Voltage Labs building, where it was located for quite some time.
Very cool. Well, let me know if you have any trouble getting on to the Discord server. We will make sure that we're able to get you on there. It's a pretty small group, but that is where we have a lot of our discussions about club activities. So if you want to get in touch with us, that is the best way to do that. All right. Well, thank you so much for jumping in here. Great to hear from you. Let's go ahead and send it back to Cy unless you have anything else to say. KN4LRA.
Negative, K5RFD.
Yeah, it's great to hear from you, Mike, and we definitely love to hear about your experiences. The UT Amateur Radio Club, when it was in a different building, at least the station. So now I'd love to ask you to share how your week's been going, and it's great to have you back on the net.
Sure, if that was directed at me, your audio was really low on that one. Say again, please.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I've been having some recurring audio issues, but all I was saying was I was asking you to share how your week's been going now that you're back on the net.
Well, the great news is that since I retired about a year ago, all of my weeks are going really, really good between two grandkids and actually in the process of getting back onto the ham airwaves after a 30-year hiatus of raising kids, sending them to college, and traveling across the country for work. So today was spent actually building the desk and cabinet I'm going to use to put the ham gear on and so forth. So I was playing carpenter all day.
Well, Mike, it's been great to hear that your week's been going well, and yeah, again, we really appreciate your involvement with the UT Amateur Radio Club as well. And if anyone has any comments, including backup net control, please call now. Alright, now we will do another round of general check-ins for anyone who's currently listening but hasn't had a chance to check in. So, any general check-in stations, please call now.
This is Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November, Ernesto in East Austin.
This is November 5, Echo, India, Foxtrot, Samir in Cupertino.
This is Kilo India 5, Zulu India, Echo, John, North Austin.
This is Kilo Juliet 5, Alpha Hotel Bravo, Hayden Getman, call 27.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear your call sign. Could you please repeat that again?
This is Kilo Juliet 5, Alpha Hotel Bravo, Hayden Genther from College Station, Texas.
This is David, KG5 UBV up here in Austin.
Okay. Before we move on, let's check with our backup net control operator. Kilo November 4, Lima, Romeo Alpha, Matthew. I've got 5 more general check-ins. Do you have the same number?
Hey, Sai, this is KN4LRA. I've got 5 here as well.
Thank you for confirming. So, now we can move down the list. So, first, we have Kilo India 5, Papa, Zulu, November, Ernesto. Welcome back to the net, and how's your week been going?
KI5PZN, thank you for running the net, and hello to everybody on the net participating and listening. Doing all right. Let's see, just mostly work, nothing too much on the fun side of the spectrum, but always find time to get on the radio for a little bit, here and there, and more than anything, repeater. I haven't done a bunch of HF, but that's about it. I'm planning on putting a fox again this weekend for those of you guys that are interested in fox hunting. I'm still thinking about the location, but I would post it on Discord for those of you again who are interested in fox hunting. So there'll be one over the weekend. I think that's about it. Oh, and I'm gonna be running the Thursday night net tomorrow at 8 o'clock for those of you guys who are looking for something to do tomorrow night on these frequencies as well. This is KI5PZN, back to net control.
Ernesto, it's great to hear from you, and I guess everyone who's listening definitely look forward to the Thursday night net. And if anyone has any comments for Ernesto, please share now.
This is Kilo India 5 Uniform Oscar Golf, Ethan. Hey Ernesto, fox hunting sounds super cool. What exactly does that, or what does a typical day of that look like? Curious. I have never done any hunting before, so kind of wondering what that looks like.
Sure, man. So I would post a map on Discord, on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Discord server of the area where the fox could be or should be heard, kind of, or places where the fox could be. It's a little ammo box with an antenna that I hide, and that fox emits a tone like every 30 seconds, I think, or something like that, pretty often. And the way that I usually, if it's just me by myself, I don't like to get out of the truck too much, so what I do is I tune in to the frequency 146565 on my mobile, on my truck, and I start driving around until I hear it, and then once I hear it, I start driving, trying to find, I guess, a direction that I'll drive into a direction and try to see looking for the meter to, I guess, go, higher on the strength. And once I get to like a solid signal, full signal, I have an attenuator, so I start to muffle down the signal, but you don't need that. Usually at that point you can get out of your truck with an HT, and some of the HT, let it reset for a second. Some of those handheld radios, you can unscrew the antenna a little bit, and it works or helps as an attenuator. You can also tune in a couple of megahertz off from the frequency or use harmonics to attenuate the signal. But that's usually how we do it, and then you use your body to block the signal, and that way you know where the signal is coming from. You start walking and doing turning around and blocking the signal with your body. That gives you an idea. The best thing I would say is, let me reset. Is for you to jump in with somebody who's done it before, because it's not difficult, but it's easier once you see somebody doing it first, and then it becomes pretty easy. But yeah, it's super easy. You don't need to have any special equipment to go fox hunting. You can build your own Yagi if you want to. I think that way you can get bearings and get a better idea of where the signal is coming from. But it's not needed. It's a lot of fun, and usually, a bunch of guys get out there to fox hunt. So if you want to ride with someone, feel free to post something on the Discord, and I'm sure anybody will be more than happy to bring you in and show you how it's done. But it's pretty easy. It's super easy, and it's a lot of fun, and it happens almost every weekend. Back to you.
Hey Ernesto, that's super cool to hear. I actually thought that y'all were talking about actual hunting, so I was confused for a minute there, like radio, what? But super cool to learn something new tonight. Back to net control, or sorry, back to you, Ernesto.
Yeah, I guess it's hidden transmitter hunt. That should be called. People usually call it fox hunting, so that's, I've gotten some weird look when I said fox hunting, but, just nerding out there with the radios, man. Back to net control. This is KI5PZN.
Thank you, and it's great to hear from both of you. And before we move down the list, I'll do a station ID. So you're listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club, every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. here on the University Link repeater system and the N5 OAK repeater system. My name is Sai, Kilo India 5, Zulu India India, and I'm your net control for this evening. So next down the list, we have November 5, Echo India Foxtrot, Samir. I hope I got your call sign correct, but welcome back to the net, and how's your week been going?
Okay, Kilo India 5, Zulu India India from November 5, Echo India Foxtrot. Very good, Sai, and great job on running the net, and it's great to hear everyone. And you did get my call correct, so congratulations on your first net here, and it's great to hear some new ops here doing net control. So my week has been pretty busy. I've just been working mostly, but in the evenings I've been able to get on HFCW every day mostly, so that's been fun. In the weekend I made some 10-meter contacts into Japan, and just having a lot of fun with CW in general. I'm at maybe 20 to 22 words per minute now, which I managed to improve over the past few months from 15, so I'm just riding on the momentum right now on that, so it's pretty fun. I'm going to be back in town next week, so hoping to meet some of the club members again, sometime during lunch, maybe, and I also put together a new website with a bunch of projects that I did over the last few years, mostly homebrewing stuff, but hopefully that will be useful to someone in the future, but not really aiming to get many views or anything, just for myself mostly and for friends. Anyway, this is N5EIF, and it's great to hear everyone here on the net. I missed the first part, but thanks for hosting the net, Sai, and back to net from N5EIF.
Great to hear from you, N5EIF, Samir, and if anyone has any comments for Samir, please call now.
This is David, Kilo Golf 5, Uniform Bravo Bravo. Alright, I just wanted to say it's been nice chatting with you, Samir, on the Homebrew channel and the N5OAK Discord, and I'm excited to see you next week, hopefully. So yeah, with that, back to net, Kilo Golf 5, Uniform Bravo Bravo.
Yeah, I also wanted to comment and just say, hopefully more of the club members can meet up with you next week, and it's great to hear from you on the Discord channel as well. So if anyone has any additional comments, please feel free to share, or we'll move down to the next person on the list. All right, next on the list, we have Kilo India 5, Zulu India Echo. John, if I got your name and call sign correct. Welcome back to the net, and how's your week been going?
Hey, this is Kilo India 5, Zulu India Echo, John. Yeah, it's my first time to check into your net. I'm doing all right. I had back surgery a week ago. I'm an old guy. Just got into radio, so I'm an old dog trying to learn a new trick. First of all, I just got to say I get a big kick out of listening to some of the college talk. You young whippersnappers worrying about your last semester and all that stuff brings back some fond memories. So there is that. It's great. The other thing I wanted to say is to Ernesto, I just want to let you know about the other night, I can't remember which night, you were talking about the fox hunt. And my woman was sitting, right over here, and Ernesto was talking about the fox hunt, and it was one of the women on that net, and you were saying stuff that made perfect sense if you understood what was going on in context. But she was like, she jumped up, like, what? That was inappropriate. And I had to set her down. I was like, no, calm down. Here's what a fox hunt is. So I got a big laugh out of that. Thank you, Ernesto. And last thing I'll say, and I'll get out of here, is I want to compliment Net Control for knowing how to run a meeting. I got to go back to work next week, and I'm dreading it, partly because my boss has no idea how to run a meeting. And you do. Appreciate it. Really well done. Thank you. So this is KI5ZIE John, back to Net.
So John, thank you so much. This is actually my second time running Net Control, and I can only imagine that everyone is hearing me nervously talk on this net. So I really appreciate the encouragement, and if anyone has any comments for John before he leaves, please feel free to call now.
KI5PZN. KI5PZN.
Go ahead, please.
Hey.
Hey, John. I'm glad I met you guys laugh with the fox hunt story. I just want to check to see how things are going and how is the recovery, man. Just want to make sure that, want to know that how things are going with the surgery recovery. Back to you, John.
KI5ZIE. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that, Ernesto. I'm getting better every day, a little bit better every single day. I can walk a little ways. I get out of breath going to the end of the road and back, but I'm getting there. It's crazy to think I used to run marathons and do triathlons, and I'm out of breath going to the mailbox, but we'll get there. Yeah, back to Net.
Man, I'm glad to hear that things are getting better. All right, man, we'll talk to you a little bit later. Back to Net, KI5PZN.
All right, thank you. So next down the list, we have Kilo Juliet 5 Alpha Hotel Bravo. I believe I didn't catch the name, but please correct me, and feel free to share how your week's been going.
Howdy, this is KJ5AHB. I am still memorizing that. I'm Hayden Genther in New Ham, I guess. Just took my license test a couple weeks ago, right before spring break, and kind of waiting on the SCC to put it out there. Finally came through, and here I am transmitting from College Station. The week's been going pretty well. Working on capstone work, about to graduate, trying to finish up, do all that fun stuff. So, back to you.
Yeah, great to hear from you, and especially as a new licensee, because I also got my license not too long ago. So, yeah, it's good to hear that more people are interested in ham radio. So, if anyone has any comments, please feel free to call, and that includes backup Net Control as well.
This is KG5UBP.
I just wanted to say congrats on getting your license. Big step. And yeah, you should be happy, and it's good that you're getting on the radio. Also, congratulations on graduating. If you don't mind sharing, what are you majoring in, and what is your capstone project? Back to you.
Yeah, so I'll be graduating in May, and of course, and my capstone project is technically under NDA, but I can say that I'm building a charger, and the rest of my team's building a tracking system for a bunch of devices. It's exciting that it's coming up, and kind of, nervous as to what lies next, but it should turn out well.
Sounds very nice. I'd imagine some sort of engineering, especially if it's under an NDA. Some of my friends who graduated in the past, had military type restrictions with their capstone projects. So it's pretty interesting not being able to talk about it with them. But thanks. Thanks for getting back, and best of luck to you. KG5 UBB back to net.
Thank you. I'd also like to comment and say congratulations again on your new license, and your senior design project sounds really interesting, and good luck with that. Yeah. So if anyone else has any more comments, please feel free to share, or we can move to the next station on the list. All right, next down the list we have Kilo Golf 5 Uniform Bravo Bravo. David, welcome back to the net, and how's your week been going?
Thanks, it's been a bit rough. I managed to have some weird sudden health issues, so been busy with school and doctors and trying to get all that sorted out. So yeah, nothing too fun, but it's been pretty nice regardless, being able to get back into the groove of things now that spring break's over. Back to you, KG5 UBB.
David, thank you for sharing, and definitely I hope you get better soon, and definitely please keep us posted on how you're doing, and if anyone else has any comments for David, please feel free to share. Okay, it seems that we don't have any more comments, so I guess before we wrap up the net, I can do one more round for general check-ins just to see if anyone is still listening. So if you are, please call now.
Kilo 5 Tango Radio, George. November 5 Zulu Kilo Foxtrot Mobile. My name is Phil. This is
KB5MPJ, Kilo Bravo 5, Mike, Papa Juliet, Jason Mobile.
Okay, so before we move on, let's check up with our backup net control operator. So KN4 LRA, Matthew, I've got 3 more general check-ins. Do you have the same?
Aye, Captain. Back to you, KN4LRA.
Thank you. So first on the list, we have Kilo 5 Tango Romeo George. I hope I got your call sign correct, but welcome back to the net, and how's your week been going?
K5ZII and the net K5TR. Doing okay. I'm driving out here on 290. I hope the signal's okay. You can speak up a little bit. I'm having trouble copying your audio. There were a couple other stations I couldn't hear at all. I'm sure that all the linking kills the audio on some of these repeaters. But anyway, doing okay. I was going to comment on the transmitter hunting, that there's also another variation on the transmitter hunting that's called Amateur Radio Direction Finding, ARDF. And they're actually USA and World Championships that happen in that. And if you're familiar with orienteering, where you are given markings on a topographical map, and usually in a park, and then you have to go to each of the controls with map and compass skills. It's just like that, except that there are no markings of the controls on the map. They all transmit, and it's a pretty interesting variation on this. Anyway, other than that, just looking forward to the WPX sideband contest that's happening this weekend. So back to net, KI5CII, K5TR.
Great to hear from you, George. I'm definitely interested in the ham radio activities that you had mentioned, and if anyone has any comments for George, please comment. This is Kilo India 5, Zulu India, India 5. Okay, so next on the list, we have November 5, Zulu, Kilo Foxtrot. I didn't catch your name, but welcome back to the net, and how's your week been going?
Thank you. This is N5ZKF Mobile. My name is Phil, Papa Hotel India Lima. It's been going okay. It's Wednesday. I've had 8 meetings today, and I'm still not home. I'm trying to get home now, and I'm paying attention because there's been a shooting over on Stallings Drive, and there's police cars roaring around. So I'll be glad to get home. I live in Bryan, and so I'm headed north right now. But yeah, just lots of meetings, lots of work, and just trying to help out with all the changes at Texas A&M University. Just heard the net on tonight and thought I would jump in, and I really appreciate you letting me join. And thanks for asking about my week. N5ZKF Mobile, back to net.
Yeah, it's great to hear from you. And if anyone has any comments for N5CKF, please call now. Okay, so next down the list we have Kilo Bravo 5 M Papa Juliet Jason. I hope I got your call sign correct, and welcome back to the net. And how's your week been going?
This is KB5MPJ. Yeah, I think you got my call sign right. Kilo Bravo 5 Mike Papa Juliet. Yeah, it's going fine. Actually, was out of town for work for the last couple of days. But yeah, I'm back and I'm actually mobile right now, coming home from visiting a couple of friends. But yeah, it's going pretty good. Yeah, I actually got a new HF antenna transformer put up and made some good contacts with that. So tomorrow, hopefully, I'm going to try it again and see what I can get with that with my end-fed random wire, or half wave rather. KB5MPJ.
It's great to hear from you, and the HF antenna transformer project that you're describing seems really interesting, and hopefully that goes well. So thank you so much for sharing, and if anyone else has any comments for KB5MPJ, please feel free to share. All right, so the net has continued for a good while. So just before we maybe wrap up, I guess if there's still anyone else who's listening, please feel free to check in. And before I forget, I'll make sure to do a station ID. So you're listening to the UT Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net, hosted by the University of Texas Amateur Radio Club every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. here on the University Link repeater system and the N5OAK repeater system. My name is Sai, call sign Kilo India 5, Zulu India India, and I am your net control operator for this evening. And if there's any other stations that you'd like to call before we wrap up, please call now.
Hey, for anyone out there that is lurking on the edge of the repeater, Sai is about to beat my record for the length of the UT Amateur Radio Club net here. My longest net was 1 hour and 6 minutes long, so if we can drag this on for 6 more minutes, Sai gets to take the crown for the longest net this year. So anyone out there on the outskirts who is listening, jump on in and give Sai a hand and help him kick me off the top of that pile. This is Can4 LRA. Back to you.
Comment?
Go ahead.
This is K5VBC. I just sat down at my desk and saw some activity on the scope, so I figured I'd check it out. I guess if I can go ahead and check into the net, I'll help you break your record. Hey, Matthew, am I coming in here on the repeater? This is K5VBC. Name's Kevin.
Hey, Kevin, I can hear you just fine. I don't know, Sai's radio may have run out of battery. I know he mentioned that he was a little bit low on battery a few minutes ago. Sai, are you still out there? Nothing heard. Well, man, that's a bummer because I was hoping that we were going to get you to beat my hour and 6-minute net record tonight. But I'm going to assume that your radio might have run out of battery. Let's give it one more try. Sai, KI5VII from Can4 LRA. Man, are you still out there? All right, I think he's gone, but it looks like we're reaching the end of the net here. Let's do one more call for anyone else who wants to check into the net. Kevin, I've got you on the list, K5VBC. Anyone else who wants to check in before we shut things down for tonight, please go ahead and call now with your call sign and your first name.
November 5, Kilo Foxtrot, Bob.
All right, we've got November 5, Kilo Foxtrot. That's Bob. Thank you for checking in. Any other general check-ins, please call now. Nothing heard. Well, real quick, let's go ahead and check in with Kevin, K5VBC. Man, I think this is the second time I've heard you on the air here, but the first time that I've actually recognized that your new call sign has matched up to you, Kevin. Man, thanks for checking in. Cool to hear that you jumped on here at the last minute. How's your week going?
Yeah, hey, I think probably last time I jumped on, I was mobile and I heard the special edition spring break net going on. So I guess I'm starting a trend of kind of just catching this net in progress and then going ahead and checking in. So today has been interesting. Long day at work, lots of debugging code. Lots of very frustrating issues to pick through and figure out. But hey, that's why they pay me the big bucks. But no, in all seriousness, I'm actually still working right now and trying to shut things down, so this is a welcome distraction. K5VBC, back to net.
Awesome. Hey, well, great to have you here. let's go ahead and open the floor for questions or comments for Kevin. If you'd like to question, comment, or just say hi, please call now with your call sign and your first name.
This is
November India 5 Bravo. Here in South Austin, and the name is Ben, and I just checking in.
All right, I've got November India 5 Bravo. That's Ben trying to check in. We'll get you on the list here, and let's go ahead and go back to anyone who has questions or comments for Kevin. Please call now.
This is Kilo India 5 Uniform Oscar Golf, Ethan.
Kilo India 5 Uniform Oscar Golf, K5 VBC. I'm listening.
Hey, Ethan, go ahead.
Hey, that's good to hear, or I mean, maybe not necessarily good. It seemed to hear you had a long day at work doing some coding. I was doing quite a bit of coding homework today, trying to, I don't know, have you heard of GitHub Copilot? It's a cool AI thing that is pulls from all the GitHub repositories and is able to like autocomplete code and stuff, and you can just tell it to like write me a function that does this and it completes it. Have you had any experience with that?
Yeah, great question, and sorry to jump in and play net control there, Matt. Actually, yes, and I'll respond briefly, and I would love to carry on the conversation further on Discord. I've had a fair amount of experience guiding some of these language models to produce code. I've gotten a fair amount of junk back from them, and actually this is a really timely question because I think it was just yesterday, for the first time ever that I've been kind of playing around with that, I got a truly inspired response from a language model. It was GPT 3 or 4, whichever one was deployed. And yeah, it really took me aback. It was really like a very clever solution to a problem that I asked it to solve for me. So, and it wasn't anything, you know, it wasn't rocket science or anything, nothing too crazy, but it was just, I just wanted it to truncate the decimal portion of a floating point number to a certain number of decimal digits. So it comes back and it basically multiplies the float by a 10 power to the number of decimal digits you want to truncate, casts it to an int, thus truncating the decimal portion, and then multiplies that int by the 10 power, putting the decimal place, you know, back in place. And I was like, well, hot damn, that is a truly inspired answer, very succinct and just very clean. So anyway, I thought I would relay that anecdote because I like your question, and that kind of just impressed me yesterday, because up until that point I had gotten a lot of junk back from these language models, but I was like, you know, that's actually pretty clever, and I liked that. Anyway, K5 VBC, back to you.
Very nice to hear. So, did I hear that correctly, that you developed the language predicting model, or are you saying you just tried one that you actually liked?
Yeah, this was like a, you know, some high-powered famous language model that's kind of in the news now called ChatGPT, running on either GPT-3 or GPT-4, and it was written by a team of developers at OpenAI. So it's gotten a lot of press lately, so I've been kind of playing around with it, and you know, it's been fun, it's been interesting, it's been educational. I think AI language models make a great, you know, pair programming buddy. Back to you.
Very nice. Well, yeah, you should check out Copilot. If you end up liking ChatGPT, check out Copilot. It's like a actual extension that goes in your interface so that you can just it'll like autocomplete code as you're writing it. So you'll just put in like one line of code and then it'll like suggest 5 more below it. So that sort of sped up my assignments that I was working on today. So I was also just super impressed by it. Anyways, back to you.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going to graduate with honors, thanks to Copilot. I'm just kidding. But yeah, there's another one called Tab 9 that I played around with, and I couldn't really get it to do anything. But yeah, I'll probably check out Copilot at some point. As an aside, I mean, we are totally training the language models to replace us, by the way. So just, which is fine, because maybe I'll get outside more or something if the bots are writing the code for me. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But thanks for the question. K5 VBC, back to Ned.
Ethan, thanks so much for that insightful question, and great chatter there. I know I have heard several times of a lot of students that are starting to rely on the ChatGPT and its ability to write code for projects. It's honestly a little bit scary when you talk to people and they say, oh, I did the homework, but I just had ChatGPT do it for me. I know there's chatter about there being ways for professors to detect it, but I got to imagine that that's even harder with the code, given that it's code. How do you know? So interesting stuff there, and it'll be very interesting to see how that continues to evolve in the next couple of years here, especially in terms of the intellectual property debate about the output from that stuff. I happen to be in a business law class this year, and that question came up earlier. Who owns the output of ChatGPT? Is it the person who put the input in and designed the prompt that created that output? Or is it someone else, or one of the programmers or the people who own OpenAI or whatever company's funding it? That'll be an interesting question for them to have to figure out in the next several years as that becomes more and more popular. All right, let's go ahead and open up the floor for any other questions for Kevin, K5VBC. If you got a question, comment, or just want to say hi, please call now.
K5VBC.
Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to beat a dead horse on that question, but actually one other thing occurred to me that is related and relevant and probably of interest to the questioner. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, and maybe others on this net. Basically, like a while ago, I encountered an interesting idea, which is like cognitive tools or cognitive models, basically, and that there can be enhancing tools and competing tools. And the examples might kind of shed some light on what I mean by like enhancing and competing. The examples that were presented were, for an enhancing tool is the abacus. So, if you learn math or arithmetic or whatever on the abacus, researchers have found that your brain actually builds an abacus inside your, neural networks or whatever. And then you continue using your brain's internal abacus for the rest of your life. So learning the abacus is like an enhancing cognitive tool. On the other hand, you have the GPS app on your phone, which, lets you kind of drive around and navigate without really, memorizing your route or looking at a map or anything along those lines. And that's a competing cognitive tool. So it actually competes with your brain's ability to remember and navigate. Like it competes with your geospatial awareness.